Like many people, we are interested in property.
Yes, and that means every aspect of it. I know, I'm always on the lookout for a bargain.
But how do you go about getting one? Well, a very reliable way is to go to a property auction.
Now, there are property auctions all over the country and throughout the year, so you really are spoilt for choice.
So let's see which properties made their buyers part with their cash on today's show.
This house in Gainsborough in Lincolnshire turns out to be a bit of a challenge.
Well, I'll leave that till later.
In Balham, London, this property alerts my instincts to a possible great find. That feeling is a good feeling. I like it.
And this flat in Folkestone, Kent, leaves me feeling very liberated.
If you can stare out on that, you're never going to feel like you're closed in.
All these properties went to auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Thank you, sir.
This is Gainsborough, an attractive market town in Lincolnshire and Britain's most inland port. It's in easy reach of Lincoln, Doncaster and Scunthorpe, so let's hope it harbours some potential for development.
Well, the property I'm here to see is just a short stroll from the river, which is literally just down there. However, you do also have to walk past a cement factory on the way, which means you get massive trucks trundling past your front door. But the property itself doesn't actually look too bad from the outside. It's this two-bed Victorian semi, had a guide price of 50,000 quid. Let's take a look inside.
Well, there might be a concrete plant just along the road, but how solid an investment was this house guided at 50,000? Well, the outside looks sturdy enough.
So, through the double-glazed door, that's a good start. You've got double glazing in the windows as well, which is really good news. It's a bit, you know, old-fashioned when you first walk in, for sure, but nice and light. That bay window really makes a big difference. Through this little area here, you've got your stairs into your bedrooms, then through into the rear living room. Oh, dear. What on earth is going on with this wall? Look at the mould. Look at this one. Unbelievable. Have you ever seen a mould like that? Pink and furry. This is like some natural history exhibit, not a house. Where on earth is that coming from? It's very interesting that it's an internal wall. Well, actually, no, it's partly external wall, so maybe it's coming from lead flashing, I don't know. That is not brilliant. Let's see if we can see around the back. There's this tiny little kitchen here, which obviously needs a bit of work doing to it, but I'm really not that bothered about it. I want to sort out whatever's going on. Whatever's going... Right, we'll have to leave that till later.
Not great. Doors that don't open, damp on the units and an interesting array of mould. However, it may just be a leaking pipe or a gutter that's causing all this grief, so hopefully it's not as bad as it looks.
So, double bedroom on the front there and another double bedroom at the back. And, oh, well, surprise, surprise, even more mould. This really is a house for fungus fanatics, isn't it? Blimey. But you know what? I don't think this is related to the one downstairs. Looking outside there, I think you've got issues with guttering, amongst other things, which is creating that, which leads me to think that the problems downstairs are created probably by some leaky pipework or other. And that would tie in with the position of the bathroom, which really isn't ideal. It's off the second bedroom here. That's your bathroom and toilet. You know, it's tired. It really needs replacing. But more important than that, it's in the wrong place, isn't it? Because you really don't want to travel through the bedroom to get to it. So what could you do? Well, possibly put a corridor here, and then you'd have maybe a separate access to the loo from each bedroom. You do lose quite a lot of space. You could move the stairs around, perhaps. That's going to be an expensive job. Or what a lot of other people in this street have done is actually built an extension, put another toilet and bathroom downstairs and kept this as an ensuite. That comes down to how much it's going to cost to do it and how much it's going to add basically value to the price of the property. Think about it. Might be worth doing, might not.
So there might be some merit in growing the size of the property by putting a bigger extension on the back. That might then give scope for a much-needed layout rejig upstairs. But one thing you do need to stop getting worse is the damp. However, despite that, I think this house is really pretty good.
A nice bonus, which you might not expect in this kind of property, a decent-sized garden, bit of lawn, a few bushes and shrubs and heathers there. The only downside, though, that is a factory. It makes exhausts for heavy goods vehicles. Oh, well, you can't have everything, I guess.
It might not be ideal, but a bit of fencing and some decent planting would help. For the most part, the presence of a factory wouldn't be noticed. It might put some buyers off, but it's unlikely to affect its rental appeal. What does a local estate agent make of this two-bed semi?
My first impressions of the property is that it needs a general overhaul and complete refurbishment, but I would recommend an extension to the rear elevation of the property to include a ground floor bathroom or WC and an ensuite bathroom off the master bedroom.
Aha, that's not a bad idea. What it would save is having to turn those stairs or corridor off the bedrooms. But if that was done, what kind of returns could we see from this house that was guided at £50,000?
For a two-bedroom property such as this, with the right application and extension, I believe the property could be worth in the region of £80,000 to £90,000.
And on the rental market?
Once fully renovated, I believe this property would rent somewhere between £350 to £395 per calendar month.
Well, despite appearances in certain parts of the house, I think this property has a lot going for it. Yes, it needs a bit of money spending on it, but I think do that and it could show the right kind of growth. Let's see who fancied it when it went under the hammer.
We move back now to Gainsborough for lot number 12, which is traditional semi-detached house. What are you going to be, 40,000? 40,000. At £40,000 a bit. At £40,000 a bit. Thank you very much. 41, 42 are you? 42, 43, 44, at £44,000 a bit, at £44,000 a bit, 45, at £45,000 a bit, at £45,000 a bit, and 500, 45, 500, 46, 500, 47, 500, 47, 500, 48 for you, at £48,000 a bit. The bid's here at 48,000, 500 now, at £48,000. At £48,000 then for the first time, second, third and last time at £48,000. Are there any more bids? Gentleman on the right there, so thank you very much.
So for £48,000, the successful bidders were Sean and Luke. It was Luke who went to the auction with his dad, who he persuaded to do the bidding. Well, it worked. They're now proud owners of this large, slightly mouldy two-bed house. I met them there to find out more.
Sean, Luke, lovely to meet you both. Congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
I don't know, we looked at a few, didn't we? And this one weren't even one of our top ones. It was further down the line that we wanted, but in the end, this one come up at the right price, so that's what we went for.
So it's mainly the price that sort of...
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, which is one of the reasons we come up north as well, because it's cheaper, so...
Right, where are you originally from?
Essex, so, yeah.
So something like this down there is going to set you back how much?
£200,000,
Yeah, I believe.
So you almost get 3 for the price of 1.
Pretty much,
4 for the price of 1.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's amazing.
But of course, the key thing is not that sale prices are a quarter of those in parts of the south, but that the rental return is still strong. That makes the yield on the rental market very attractive.
So tell me about you two then. How do you know each other and what do you do together?
We've been best mates since we was 4 years old.
Aww.
We're both 30 now, so it's been a long time. We've got our building company that we're both directors in that we started 6 years ago, and it's going very successful at the moment. So we just thought we'd try around in something else to make some money for the future, really.
Right. So tell me exactly what you're going to do to the property.
It's just a basic full refurb, kitchen out, bathroom out, strip all the wallpaper in out, up with all the carpets, maybe the extension,
Tell me more about that. What would that be?
Well, we do the extension. We're going to try and make the kitchen bigger, so it's a little bit bigger. Like as you see next door, they've got an extension on. They've made their kitchen a little bit bigger. They brought the bathroom downstairs, turned it into a 3-bed upstairs, and that would basically be our plan. We're thinking about moving the staircase over to there, so turn it round so there's more room upstairs. We can get a corridor in down to the third bedroom and.
Where would the third bedroom be?
Where the bathroom is at the moment.
Oh, so you'd lose that bathroom altogether?
Yeah,
downstairs
bring the bathroom down here, yeah.
Luke and Sean have budgeted just £17,000 to do the whole house, including the extension. Although they seem to have worked out exactly what they wanted to do with it, there was one thing they missed.
So let's talk about this wall then, the one with all the mould. Well, what do you know about that?
When we come and looked at the house, I'm pretty sure it weren't here. I'm pretty sure it wasn't here when we looked at the house.
How long did you look at the house? How long ago?
Probably about 6 to 8 weeks, probably something like that. And it wasn't here.
Wow. Must have been a bit of a shock then when you saw it.
It was, yeah, when we walked in, yeah, it was a shock.
You sure you came to the right house, are you?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
100%. It is the right house.
It is.
I've got all the paperwork in the office saying, I know it's the right house.
It's a kind of magic.
So the mould seems to have appeared as if by magic. Let's hope they can make it disappear just as fast.
So what's the timescale for sorting it out?
We've had the extension 4 weeks, yeah.
Without the extension?
Without the extension. With the extension, probably more like between 4 and 7.
Still quite quick then.
Yeah, pretty quick, yeah. But we'll be coming up here, we'll be living in here as well. So I'll be staying in here and work, so then I can work through till like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
And what will your involvement be?
Well, I've moved into the office, trying to get more work in, like ordering materials, pricing the jobs up and stuff like that. So I'll carry on doing my day-to-day job to make sure there's plenty of work for when the boys get back.
But you're sharing the profits?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But you're doing all the work?
Yeah, it seems like a fair deal, doesn't it?
Good one.
Yeah, but he'd be working on the sites down in London anyway, so it's no different, really. That's what I've been telling him anyway.
Well, listen, congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, I think Sean and Luke have chosen well for their first property development project, and I know they're going to work hard at sorting this place out. Will they decide to do the extension or not, and will they sort the damp out in that wall? You can find out later in the show.
I'm smack dab in the hustle and bustle of Clapham in southwest London. However, just down the road is a peaceful enclave of calm and tranquility. In southwest London, well, it's always been Clapham's poorish relation. Not anymore. Now, today's property is in the Nightingale Triangle, and it's the most desirable part of Balham due to the large period properties that are found here. Properties in this quiet corner of Balham command a high price. A 4-bedroom Victorian townhouse can expect to sell for just under £1 million. This is the one I'm here to see. It's a little more modest, but still brimming with period features. It has 3 bedrooms and came with a guide price of £600,000. When I walk into a house, I get the feeling. And in this house, I've got a good feeling. There are some beautiful original features intact. Look at all that up there. You've got this wonderful newel post. And please, let's hope, yes, for some original Minton tiles. Now, look at all of that. Look. They are going to be really well preserved because I bet this carpet has been down for years and years. Got a really nice size front lounge area with a beautiful fireplace. Second room here towards the back of the property. You could actually think about knocking this through, creating one big room. Again, another nice fireplace with these beautiful tiles. I mean, look at these lovely, lovely colours. Oh, there's a lot going on in this house. You've got doors leading out to the garden. And if you look up at the ceiling, you've got a lovely ceiling rose with some beautiful cornicing. That feeling is a good feeling. I like it. Grand high ceilings and period features galore. What more could you ask for? A multicoloured ceiling, I hear you say? Well, it's got that too. To the rear is a third reception room, which I imagine would have originally served as a kitchen. It has French doors leading to the garden, which is overgrown at present, but it's a real sun trap.
let's take a look upstairs at the bedrooms.
Well, this is the master bedroom, and if you ask me, it looks rather grand. Again, look, you've got one of these nice big fireplaces and all of these magnificent windows letting in so much light. Sadly, they're not actually that magnificent, because if you take a look, they're aluminium double glazed. They don't go with the character of the property. Now, something original like sash windows would look amazing there.
The second bedroom on the top floor is also a good size. The windows at the rear of the property are all original sash casement, and I'd like to see them refurbished. Onto the mid-landing and the bathroom, which is in need of modernisation. And next door, the kitchen, which would have originally been a bedroom, with the kitchen downstairs in the third reception room. But I did like that sunroom. Perhaps the kitchen could be moved to the second reception room. There are so many options.
Now, there's two ways to add value to this house. Up there,
By converting the attic space.
and out here. You see, a loft extension and a side extension could give you another bedroom, a much bigger kitchen, and add as much as £200,000 to the end value. Extend the house and extend your profit margin. Thank you very much.
This house has a lot of nooks and crannies, and that includes a huge basement. To be a successful developer, it's important to see the potential in a property, and this terraced one has oodles. We asked a local estate agent to give us his opinion on this place, which had a guide price of £600,000.
Extension-wise, it's got enormous potential. You can extend it out to the kitchen, that's to the side return, and obviously into the loft to create a master bedroom with ensuite.
If extended into the loft space to create an extra bedroom, what could this property achieve on the rental market?
As a four-bedroom house, your rental achievable could be in excess of £2,500 per calendar month.
And a sell-on valuation?
The potential asking price could be £950,000.
A house with bags of potential in a hugely desirable area. What is not to like? Let's go to auction and find out who that winning bidder was.
Start at 600 on this. I'm going to go below 6. Worth that all day long. 600 right at the back on my right. 600. 605. 65. 610. 615. 620. 625. 630. 635. 640. 645. 650. 655. 660. 665. 670. 675. 680. 685. 690. Take it you. 690. Another spot. 690. 695. 700. Looking for 700. First time. Second time, third and last time at 695. Have you all done?
With a successful bid of £695,000, the happy couple are Scott and his wife Ness. This will be their new home, and with Ness due to give birth to their first child in under 4 months, they'll need to get cracking on the renovation.
Hey, hey, baby's on the way.
Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
You must be thrilled to bits that you got this at auction.
Yes.
Very excited, yeah.
So is this the home of your dreams?
For the next short while.
Yes, I think we looked at so many houses, and this one has ticked most of the boxes, I would say, apart from perhaps the state of it.
So what was it about this house that you liked so much to want to buy it?
Well, it's great spot. It's got potential. We've been sort of wanting to do a project for a little while. We looked at about 25 other houses, not all. Didn't find one that we both liked.
I think the one thing that really appeals to me is Wandsworth Commons just on the door as well, which is obviously a lovely place, especially day like today when it's sunny. So yeah, great location. We're really happy.
Now I can see you rubbing your tummy there. So baby on the way. How long have you got to go?
Well, I'm just about 5.5 months now. So yeah.
So that is going to be fantastic for you. You've got the common. It's going to be an amazing area. You can you know, take baby out for lovely walks. So this will be a lovely family house for you, but obviously not in the state that it's in.
No.
So Scott, let's talk about that.
It needs a little bit of work, doesn't it?
For starters, that's a rather interesting ceiling up there.
Colours aside, the ceiling's great, and we'll be keeping that.
I'm happy to hear Scott and Ness are as taken with the period character of this house as I am. So what are their plans for it?
Are you going to decorate? Are you going to renovate? Are you going to add to this house?
Yes, we've just appointed an architect, and hopefully we'll have some plans for planning in 3 or 4 weeks.
So you are looking at extending?
Extending up and then out the back and out the side, and clearing the rest of it out and new everything.
What sort of budget are you looking at to do the work here?
Oh, it's a bone of contention, but...
With both of you. Let's start with you, Scott. How much do you think you're going to spend?
Well, when we sat down before the auction, I reckoned we could do it for 130. But I think it might go up to sort of 150.
So, are you thinking about adding an extra bedroom and bathroom here?
Yeah, so we're going to go into loft conversion, definitely 1 bedroom, maybe 2, and an ensuite up there. So that will give us 1 or 2 extra bedrooms. This room we're hoping to knock through, and then have a much bigger kitchen on the back of it as well. So
you are going to eat into your garden space a little.
A little.
A little, yeah.
And we're still having a discussion about whether we could extend in glass. But it's an unresolved discussion at the moment.
And that may eat into that budget of yours.
Yeah. Yes, we've had some preliminary discussions with a specialist company, and it's not off the planet expensive, so maybe...
I mean, that would look fabulous, and it would also let so much more light come into
I believe you, Lucy, and I agree with you.
I'm actually liking that idea, Scott. Sorry, Ness.
Well, I'm thinking on the practical level, and actually the builder said the same as me, I think, didn't he? Sort of that it would be like a greenhouse and the cleaning side of it. How do you clean a big glass box?
But you've got such a beautiful traditional house here. You know, it's always such a lovely surprise element when you walk through a house like this to then go, wow, you see something that you're not expecting at the back.
I agree.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. It would be nice to combine something modern with something... It's a very old house, and if we could get something and the budget did stretch to it, we may well do something with it.
You just have to keep a bit of the budget back for a cleaner, Ness, that's going to clean the glass for you.
Or self-cleaning glass, I hear there is as well.
Hey, it's a real good day, 'cause baby's on the way.
Well, let's hope they find it easier to decide on baby names.
Baby's on the way.
Scott's a commercial property project manager and Ness is a risk manager for a bank, so they should have many of the skills necessary to ensure a smooth renovation. But I've got one more big question to ask.
So where's the baby's room going to be?
Baby's room is the middle bedroom, so next to our room.
And do you know what you're having, girl or boy? Is
Big
it going
secret.
to be a blue or a pink room? You're not going to tell us?
Blue room.
Blue room?
Yes.
You're hoping? But it could be a pink room?
Could be a pink room as well.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
We will have to wait and see.
This house will look fantastic. It's in a great area. You know, it really has got the bones here to be amazing. And it's going to be really interesting to see what you do out the back there.
We'll look forward to you coming back in a while then.
Box.
The glass... well,
See.
yes. You could have swung it with your... You obviously know what you're talking about, Lucy.
Of course I do.
Exactly.
Guys, it's been lovely meeting you today. Good luck with this and good luck with the baby.
Thank you. Thanks
Hopefully
a lot.
we'll get to see the baby when we come back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ness.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, it's good the couple have got a healthy budget, but they've never taken on such a large project. Will it prove to be too much for them? Especially as they've got a baby on the way. And will we see that glass box at the end of this house? Or will Ness get her own way? You can find out how it all goes later on in the programme.
Coming up, this flat in Folkestone, Kent, brings out the demolition man in me.
How great would it be to actually just remove this wall?
In South London, did Scott and Ness get the look they'd hoped for?
We wanted it to look like a Victorian house from the front, but to look really modern and contemporary once you came through the door.
But first, back to Gainsborough, Lincolnshire, where Sean's as keen to see the renovation as we are.
This is the first time I've seen it since it's been completed.
In the pretty Lincolnshire town of Gainsborough, Essex-based builders Sean and Luke bought a 3-bed semi at auction for $48,000. Although apparently structurally sound, it did come with some issues. It backed onto a factory area and the bathroom could only be reached via another bedroom. But worst of all, there were signs of damp and mould. News to Sean and Luke.
When we come and looked at the house, I'm pretty sure it weren't here. I'm pretty sure it wasn't here.
Must have been a bit of a shock then when you saw it.
It was, yeah, when we walked in, yeah, it was a shock.
You sure you came to the right house, aren't you?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
So it was a bit of a mystery to the pair where all the mould and damp had sprung from. But having bought this fungal farm, there was not much room for regret. So, armed with a £15,000 budget, it was down to Luke to solve the mystery. Just 9 weeks later, we're back. And with a tidy up at the front, it certainly looks promising. Inside, well, the old electrical appliances have been removed. And the room's completely refurbished. In the back reception room, there are now patio doors out onto the garden, and the kitchen area has undergone a total refit. But perhaps most impressive of all, there's now a new extension which houses a brand new bathroom suite. So Luke's been pretty busy.
All right, so out here we blocked the old kitchen doorway up, and there was a window here, and we cut that out and put the French doors in, and we figured this gives us more light into the dining room and extra kitchen space, like for the units. And coming along here, this used to be the outside toilet and a shed, but we knocked all that down and put up a new extension when we moved the bathroom too. We had a bit of an issue with the drains, so we had to move the manhole, run new drains. But overall, I'm really pleased with it.
And the addition of the extension to house the downstairs bathroom has allowed changes to be made upstairs. Particularly with the back bedroom, which previously had the bathroom off it, as Sean explains.
Right, so this used to be the old bathroom, this room. So we've basically taken it out and moved it downstairs into the new extension. Carpeted, redecorated it, so hopefully a young family could use it as like a nursery or a walk-in wardrobe or whatever they choose to use it for. Over here, this is where the old fire was in this bedroom. We've taken it out, replaced it with the full gas central heating system, with new boiler. And then up here, we've done new carpets, lined all the walls, painted the walls, new coving up, new doors, and that's about it.
So the extension solved one problem, but what about that mystery mould?
On this wall here, we had a lot of mould when we come here to start the filming, and we thought it was all from the guttering from upstairs. But on further investigation, we found out that there was a burst pipe in the wall in the bathroom, so that got fixed. And then once that was fixed, we could take the wall off and then let it dry out and then bond and set it. And we haven't had a problem since.
Like the mould, Sean left the house and headed back to Essex, leaving Luke to sort out the work.
Obviously, it was hard being away from home for 6 weeks. Obviously, I had to base myself up in this area because it's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive. And leaving my wife for 6 weeks was hard, and being around the same people I was working with day in, day out. Yeah, it was hard, but it was worth it in the end.
Luke and his team of builders have done fantastically well to complete all the work, including the extension, in just 6 weeks. Did Sean get involved at all?
I'm based in Chinkford in the office, so I didn't really come up and do a lot of work on this project. It was all left down to Luke. This is the first time I've seen it since it's been completed. And I'm really proud of him and happy with the finished article.
In fairness to Sean, he was organising the materials and making sure other jobs they had on were kept on track. After all, time is money.
Well, originally our budget was $17,000 for the whole thing with the extension. We ended up creeping over by $1,500 to $2,000, but we hadn't accounted for putting in the French doors and the ceiling come down, had to be redone. So we was a little bit over, but still quite happy with the amount we spent.
A £19,000 spend on top of a £48,000 purchase price plus costs and fees will see their total outlay reach around £70,000. So has their investment grown as fast as that mould? What do two local estate agents think?
The property's been finished to an excellent standard, improving the internal condition and making the property more of a modern, contemporary feel.
My first impressions of the property are that it's been brought up to a very good standard. I think it'll rent very well and it could sell, although the market locally is a little bit weak.
Sean and Luke really saw this as a long-term investment and therefore planned to rent the house out. But have they spent their £70,000 wisely?
I believe the property's worth somewhere in the region of £85,000 to £90,000 in today's market.
I would expect the resale value of the property to be in the region of £80,000.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with 85 to 90,000. I'd take 80,000 for it.
There could be a small profit on the resale market, but they chose this area of the country for the potential rental yields.
I would expect the rental value for the property to be £450 per calendar month.
I believe the property would rent for somewhere between £450 to £475 per calendar month.
Yeah, I think at that money, it's pretty much what we was expecting, weren't it?
Yeah.
475 would be a little bit more than we was expecting, so yeah, 450 and upwards is good.
Well, even £450 a month or £5,400 a year off a £70,000 investment would bring in a yield of around 8%. In the current climate, that's pretty healthy. So what next?
Well, we're going to go back down south, carry on with our building company, wait for the 6 months to come up on this, remortgage this, and then go straight and buy another property.
So it's back down south to Essex for a while and then hopefully go again, presumably still as business partners.
I think we'll always work together. Me and Sean, it seems to have been successful so far, so I can't see any reason why not.
No, maybe when we've made enough money and gone our separate ways and nobody's working anymore, maybe then.
Eventually they may go their separate ways, but for now it looks like they're both pulling in the same direction. I'm down by the sea on the southeast coast in Folkestone. It's had its day as a thriving holiday resort, but things are on the up, with an increasing number of people moving here from London because property-wise, they can get a lot more bang for their buck. Well, just a 5-minute stroll from the beachfront is the property I'm here to see. 2-bedroom, top-floor flat at a guide price of 45 to 50,000 quid. This purpose-built block of flats looks imposing and grand from the front. Let's hope it keeps up appearances inside. Well, you can tell a lot about a flat by the communal areas, and in this case, it's not looking too brilliant. These are the responsibility of either the management committee or the landlord, and as you can see, it's all a bit grubby. So, not the most sparkling of communal areas. Let's hope the flat itself improves a bit. Well, you have to ignore the clutter. What have we actually got? A bit of a suspended ceiling. Actually, you can tell we're right on the top there. You can see the concrete of the building. Large bedroom there. We quite like that. And then through into your main living area. Now, it is a nice size, but by far the most impressive feature is that view. I mean, it doesn't matter what size the flat is, really. If you can stare out on that, you're never going to feel like you're closed in. A view which includes the Folkestone Downs is quite a treat. On the downside is that ceiling. A suspended ceiling isn't the most attractive feature in a period building, and it appears to be suffering from damp. There is one decent-sized bedroom, but the other leaves a lot to be desired. Not only is it pokey and small, it's not in great condition. Still, it's not the only thing suffering from a lack of space here. Well, unfortunately, the compromise for having that fabulous, large, lovely living room area is here, the kitchen. As you can see, it is really, really cramped. Well, what do you do? Well, I think I've got a solution. But first of all, microscopically small boiler to fit in as well. That looks terribly out of date. Get that serviced or replaced, and then think about the layout in here. Actually, don't, because I've got an idea.
I noticed that you've got this wall here in between the living room area and the kitchen. Now, it's fairly solid, so it is structural, but how great would it be to actually just remove this wall? Maybe with an archway, ideally by sticking some kind of a structural beam across the top there and then taking this wall out completely. You then extend the kitchen out here, maybe have a breakfast bar coming slightly into this room. You can sit here having your breakfast cereals, looking out over the view. It's fantastic. The only fly in the ointment is this is a leasehold property, and therefore, probably, before you get involved in any major structural works, you've got to get hold of the landlord and get his or her permission.
You've also got to think about whether the expensive structural work would be worth it. These flats will have a ceiling price, and unless you're going to be living in it yourself, you should probably keep the renovation to a minimum. We asked a local estate agent what he thought about it.
The flat needs a lot of TLC. It's in a building which has been neglected to a certain extent for some time, and it wouldn't take a lot of money to actually revive it so that it is more attractive on the approach through the corridors and obviously leading to the apartment itself. The layout of this particular apartment is not to everyone's liking. I think that some people would say that having the bathroom immediately adjacent to the kitchen, although from a plumbing perspective one can consider why that's done, it's not the most ideal situation. You have to pass the bathroom on the way to the kitchen. The rooms, some of them have suspended ceilings, and that might be hiding a nest of problems, I think. And in fact, my first view at those particular ceiling areas exposed would suggest that there is some damp that needs to be dealt with.
Lots of work to do then, but when this place is back in ship-shape condition, what could it be worth?
Once this flat has been renovated, and we'll say to a high standard, this apartment would be worth in the region of £100,000.
And for rental?
Two-bedroom apartment in this block would fetch between £500 and £550 per calendar month in good condition.
So, all in all, a good-sized flat in a decent location. Nice place to live, or something that could be a good rental or resale money earner. Let's see who bought it when it went under the hammer.
Tell me where you were on that one. We've got a very good guide price of 45 to 50. We'll see £45,000 and hands should be shooting up everywhere. 45,000, oh, one hand shot up slowly. 45 I'm bid. 45 I've got. 47 now do I see. Do I see two more anywhere? Just you and me at the moment. 47 bid I've got. 48 now if you like. 48. 48 I'm bid. Fill it up to 50 and 2. 52 I'm bid. 54 if you like. 54 I have. 56 now if you like. 56 may I say. 58 are you coming back in again? 58 may I say. At 58 by the door, I've got 56 in the aisle. 58 I'm looking for. 58 I've got. Fill it up to 60 may I say. At £60,000. £60,000. At £60,000. Draw down to 58 then I will sell for the first time. £58,000 on the left-hand side for the second time. Third and final time, £58,000. All done. Happy, all done. Yours at 58. Well done, sir.
It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby.
Successful at the auction with their bid of £58,000 were Nina, a mechanical design engineer, and Alistair, an electrical engineer, who've teamed up to start a business in property investment.
Alistair, Nina, lovely to meet you both. Congratulations.
Thank you, Martin.
So, why do you want to buy this place?
We both have money left over from pension funds, and banks are not making anything at the moment, so we thought we'd try property investing.
Right, is this the first kind of venture into that kind of world?
We have bought a plot of land which we're going through a planning permission to build a couple of houses.
Oh, wow.
But this is to keep us amused over the winter.
Fair enough. So what about the relationship between you two?
Yeah.
We're business partners. We were working together in a consultancy in London and discussed the lack of interest in the banks and thought we could do something together to keep ourselves amused.
Oh, great. So how did that turn from that kind of conceptual idea into actually buying somewhere down here in Folkestone?
Well, we couldn't afford something in London, so, like, this was good value. I mean, we're looking for value, obviously.
What was it about this particular flat, then, that appealed?
When we went to auction, we actually had a list of about 10 properties that we were interested in. The earlier ones we'd bid on and lost. And this one, we won.
We won.
Yeah.
Right, so you looked at 10 properties that you could potentially
we didn't
buy?
look at any properties.
You didn't look at any of them?
Well, we did research them all and we looked at the selling prices of the properties nearby,
Google Earth.
the essential, and also looked carefully at the quality of the property that was being sold.
Buying blind can be a very risky strategy and not one I would recommend. But this plucky pair seem unfazed.
Now, what sort of experience do both of you have in terms of property renovation and restoration?
Well, very little domestically, apart from the few houses that I've owned. But obviously, being in the construction industry, commercially, you know, we've built buildings, we've knocked down buildings, we've renovated them. Not necessarily with our own fair hands, but, you know, technically we have.
When I was younger as an electrician, I did work for a small building firm that did a lot of conversions of flats in South London, so I have got some experience of that sort of work, but not on my own account.
So tell me, sort of step by step, what you're going to do to sort the place out.
We're on a tight budget, so it's hard to know if we can afford to do much structural work, but we were going to replace the existing boiler system with a combi boiler, which will free up some space in the cupboard, which will open up the kitchen. And with new kitchen units, we hope that it'll look a lot better in there.
So what kind of budget have you got for the work?
We're going to try and get it under about £7,000.
5,000.
You say 5, you say 7. And that's going to be mostly spent on what?
Well, I think the ceiling is going to take a bit of sorting out, one way or the other.
But the kitchen and bathroom is the main thing that's going to cost some money.
Timescales for the work?
Well, that has changed because Alistair's decided to go back to work, but...
She said through gritty teeth.
We were going to turn it round in 2 months, but I think it's probably 3/4, maybe.
No, I still think it should be turned around in 6 to 8 weeks.
OK, there we are.
So 6 to 8 weeks, £7,000, and 3 months...
£5,000.
£5,000.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Not sure.
Yeah.
We're interested to see, anyway. Now, there's some enthusiastic banter between you two. How's it going to work as a business relationship, do you think?
I think at the end of the day...
You're the boss.
I am, yeah. You do as you're told, don't you?
Yes.
Is that OK? Because you're not together as a couple, so...
No, definitely not. No.
Definitely not, she says. No, seems the guy's got feelings, come on. But,
no.
I've got standards as well.
But, so, there's no chance of a bit of friction between you two when it comes to making decisions?
I think there will be.
I think there will be, but it's a professional friction, and at the end of the day, we both want to make money.
Well, listen, congratulations. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you, Martin.
I'll see you again soon.
Well, I don't know about you, but something tells me there'll be fireworks on this renovation before the day's out. Will they make any money? Will they still be friends at the end of it all? You can find out later in the show.
There's been plenty of time for our buyers to have started work on their properties.
But have they actually done anything? Or have they been beset by problems?
Time is money. Now, have they made any or just lost out?
Let's go back and find out.
It was in Balham, southwest London, that we first saw a rather splendid 3-bedroom, bay-fronted, Victorian terraced house. It may be a real estate agent's cliché, but this property really did have loads of potential. You could build up into the loft, extend out the back, or open up into the cellar. And with many features still intact, albeit some of them rather interestingly painted, this was one of those auction lots to get excited about. It was bought by a young couple, Scott and Ness, for $695,000. They'd been living in a small house in Tooting and were keen to find somewhere bigger.
So is this the home of your dreams?
For the next short while.
Yes, I think we looked at so many houses and this one has, or ticked most of the boxes, I would say.
Now I can see you rubbing your tummy there. So, baby on the way. How long have you got to go?
Well, I'm just about 5.5 months now, so, yeah.
So the clock was ticking, and with grand plans for loft conversions and kitchen extensions, they had their work cut out. And now, nearly 1 year to the day, we're back. From outside, the house is looking crisp and clean. With the bush removed from the front garden, the delicate traditional ironwork on the wall is now visible. But it was inside where Ness and Scott hoped they could bring a modern touch to what is now a proper family home. With the arrival of 8-month-old baby Monty, they moved in just 3 weeks ago. And what a home they've made for themselves here. The 2 reception rooms were knocked through to make a wonderful lounge dining area. Which then leads on to a stunning open-plan kitchen. And though Scott's original plans for a glass box extension were refused, what they ended up with isn't half bad.
Last time you were here, this space was completely different and much smaller. I think the room probably finished maybe around sort of here. And what we also did was extend out to the next wall and also put in this beautiful glass window here. And the tiles, the idea was that sort of once the bifolding doors are open, that this area then becomes actually one room sort of leading into the garden. And it feels great, you know, when those are open, lots of air and being able to sort of step straight out. So we really love this room. It's one of our favourite bits of the house.
And those great bifolding doors lead all the way out onto that lovely sunny terrace and child-friendly garden space. Upstairs, that high-quality, chic, modern finish continues with a stylish white and black bathroom suite. The old kitchen space has been returned to being a bedroom. While in the master bedroom, gone is the dated wallpaper and dilapidated carpet to be replaced by bespoke fitted wardrobes. And the third bedroom is now baby Monty's nursery. But they didn't stop there.
We also added a loft conversion. The extra sort of piece that we wanted in terms of making the loft conversion feel slightly different was to have sort of a different staircase going up to the loft. Sort of a slight sort of mezzanine feel to it when you're sort of standing at the top of the house, because the stairs don't actually join the wall. There's actually a space which enables you to look down.
This loft space has turned out to be a fantastic bonus, with ensuite shower room and balcony doors to look out over sunny Balham. But getting to this stage hasn't been easy. The original extension plans were rejected and their first builder went into liquidation. Then there was a delay finding another builder, making this a year-long process. But now they've finished. And they've turned this ordinary 3-bed terraced house into a 4-bed house that I think is rather special.
In terms of general style, we wanted it to look like a Victorian house from the front, but to look really modern and contemporary once you came through the door, and I think it succeeded.
What we decided was we wanted to always make this, you know, a big, spacious family house with lots of light.
There is a wonderful, calming feeling about this house now. What a huge difference to that drab, tired property I saw a year ago. But I suspect they may have gone over their £130,000 to £150,000 proposed budget.
Did we really say 130 to 150? We smashed that by some margin, as I think you probably would have guessed. I think we spent, if you include everything, including the fitted furniture and bits and pieces of the loose furniture, about 225,000.
£225,000 to make this house a home is a reasonable outlay on a place Ness and Scott bought for £695,000. With costs and fees, they will have invested nearly £930,000. So, was this money well spent? What do two local estate agents reckon?
My first impressions of the property are really good quality. It's been done very stylish fittings, and the kitchen's been done beautifully, especially with the bifold doors onto the garden and a great size.
I think the loft conversion is done to a very high standard. It is in keeping with the rest of the house. The overall standard of work is second to none. It's certainly one of the very best that I've seen.
With their total costs heading towards £930,000, has finishing the house to a high standard paid off?
If we were to put it onto the open market, we would expect it to achieve in the region of £980,000.
I would put this on the market for £975,000.
So not huge returns here, maybe a pre-tax profit of around £45,000 to £50,000. What do they make of the resale valuations?
I think it's more than we would have expected, but
and it's more than we've spent, added to more than we paid, which is
always a bonus, yeah.
Good news.
So financially, it does stack up fine. What are their reflections on their year-long project?
It's been painful, but worth it, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll forget all the pain in the future.
And now with the house just about completed, they can concentrate on caring for and bringing up Monty in their stunning new home.
Now it's time for us to go back to Folkestone in Kent, where old friends and new property developers Alistair and Nina purchased a top-floor flat in this grand building, with a not-so-grand interior for £58,000. But they had a plan for it. In fact, they each had different plans.
So what kind of budget have you got?
We're going to try and get it under about £7,000.
£5,000.
Timescales for the work?
We were going to turn it round in 2 months, but I think it's probably 3/4, maybe.
No, I still think it should be turned around in 6 to 8 weeks.
So 6 to 8 weeks, £7,000, and 3 months...
£5,000.
£5,000.
How does that work?
Not sure.
Yeah.
We're interested to see, anyway.
So with budget and timescales already areas of disagreement, did their friendship survive the refurbishment? It's been 4 months since we last saw them and their property. As well as tidying up the place in terms of decor, Nina and Alistair got rid of the horrible suspended ceiling, and it's looking much better as it's been replastered and painted. The renovation is 90% complete and things are taking shape, but it turns out that time and money weren't the only things they didn't agree on.
Well, the fireplace was a bone of contention between me and Nina. Nina wanted it stripped out, but I wanted to keep it for 2 reasons. One, I knew that it'd make a lot of mess and quite a lot of work to strip it out. And the second is it is an original feature, and I believe in trying to keep original features within the flat. It's proved to a certain extent Nina's right in that the work involved in stripping it has been considerable, but the features that we see, the Art Deco design and the typical 1930s marbled tiles, I think will come through as worthwhile once the process is finished and it's all tidied up.
I'm with Alistair on this one. It's a real luxury to be able to retain period features if you can. But something I hope they didn't retain was that nasty cramped kitchen.
Well, in here we used to have a cylinder in the corner and a wall, which we've knocked down, put in a combi boiler for the hot water, and eventually made better use of the kitchen. Obviously new kitchen, tiles, gas cooker, new window, and that's about it.
Nina had planned on a £5,000 budget, but Alistair thought £7,000. Were either of them right?
I was closer.
But then we changed the whole concept.
We did change the concept a bit, yeah.
But it was a conscious decision. We decided to aim for a different market. effectively. So improved a lot of the finishes. And by the time we finish, there's a couple of £100 left to spend on finishes and carpets. But we'll come out just under 11,000.
What about their estimated timescale?
The timescales have slipped, of course. They generally do on projects, so it's taken best part of three months, really.
4 months.
3 or 4 months, is it? 4 months now.
Even now they've nearly finished, they can't agree on the timescale. But hopefully there was enough agreement along the way to keep their friendship intact.
We're still talking, aren't we?
Yeah, quite a satisfactory business relationship.
Exactly, yes.
We never had a big row, really, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
No, and you never hit me.
No, well, not often.
No.
The teeth marks don't show at all.
Well, they certainly got their teeth into this, with replumbing, rewiring, new central heating and double glazing, as well as the cosmetic work. We asked 2 local estate agents to give us their opinion on it.
Coming into the property, it looks like they've spent some time and effort trying to make it more presentable, and I think it's definitely an improvement on what it was.
It's changed a lot since I first saw it. They've obviously enhanced it a lot. The kitchen and the bathroom are very nice. Overall, a fairly good impression, fairly good for tenant appeal as well.
Speaking of tenants, what could this place be rented out for?
To rent this apartment out would be in the region of between £500 and £550 per calendar month.
I would advise the client to advertise it for £550 per calendar month.
Well, we're not looking to rent, although if we can't sell it in 2 months, then maybe we'll look at renting in the short term.
Having paid £58,000 for the property and spent £11,000 on the renovations, Nina and Alistair's total spend was £69,000, making the rental return very attractive at between 8 and 9.5%. But as they said, they're all set to sell, so what would the estate agents estimate for that?
The value of this apartment would be around £90,000. It would be potentially higher if the building were of a greater standard in terms of its common areas.
I would recommend you advertise it for a maximum of £95,000 and hopefully achieve something just over £85,000.
So that still gives us, what, 25–30% return?
Well, 20% anyway.
Which is more than you get in the bank, so yes, we're happy.
Based on the estate agent's recommendations, they could see a potential profit of between £16,000 and £21,000 minus the usual selling expenses. But Alistair's reserving judgment.
It's one thing for the price to be given to us, it's another thing for it to actually be sold at that price. So when it's sold at that price, come back again and then ask me if I'm happy.
Well, that's it for now. We'll have more auction stories to warn or inspire you next time.
So make sure you join us then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.